Hello, my friends. Heather Choate here. I'm talking today about how to overcome your spouse's emotional affair, specifically the 4 steps that we've used to help thousands of couples now to overcome an emotional affair. Now, I'll just say this, I was shocked when I discovered that over 60% of our clients said that the biggest part of their marital problems were because their spouse was having an emotional affair. So raise your hand, let me know in the comments, is your spouse having an emotional affair? Or do you suspect that they might be? Could this be one of the root issues that are creating the problems in your marriage? If so, you are not alone. So leave a comment, say emotional affair, and I will send you a free guide on how to overcome your spouse's emotional affair and a quiz to see if it's possible to save your marriage at this point or not. So what are the 4 steps to overcome your spouse's emotional affair? First, it's all about the pause button. And this is where you stop pushing them away more from you. See, there's certain things that you might be doing that are actually pushing them away from you and maybe more towards another person. Now, I'm not saying that their choice to engage in this emotional affair is your fault, because it's not. You cannot control what your partner does. However, we do want to look at what behaviors we might be doing that are contributing to the situation. That's called taking accountability for our part, right? And recognizing that there are certain things that we might be doing that are unintentionally, sometimes even subconsciously, pushing our spouse further away. Sometimes these look like demanding that they do things, demanding that they work on the marriage, demanding that they go to therapy. It could look like manipulating them. If you're always saying it has to be my way, it always has to be my will. If you feel your spouse is saying like, I feel like you're controlling, I feel like you're too pushy, I feel like I don't ever get my way here, they might be rebelling by having this emotional affair. Anything that's pleading, begging, oh my goodness, getting so tongue-tied, acting out of desperation is going to push them further away as well. So like, please don't talk to that person. Please come back to me. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you. I'll do anything. I'll make all these changes. Anything like that is going to feel unsafe to your partner as well, because you're coming at them with so much fear and desperation. And then freezing and doing nothing out of fear. It's very painful when your spouse is having an emotional affair. I get that. And so sometimes you don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. And you end up freezing and doing nothing out of fear. All of these are only going to push your spouse further away. Some other things that you want to be aware of, some very common and big mistakes that people make, is over apologizing. If you're taking all the responsibility on yourself, if you're blaming yourself for everything here, then that is going to, again, not resolve the issues between you, and it actually makes you look more desperate. And it's not healthy to blame yourself for everything that's going on here. You also don't want to blame your spouse for everything. If they feel like you're blaming them for everything and that you are just being a victim here and you're not willing to take accountability or responsibility for your part, again, that's not going to resolve the issues and end this emotional affair. These problems didn't happen in a vacuum. The affair, while not entirely your fault and not entirely their fault, it's a mixture of both, right, is a symptom of the deeper issues happening in the marriage. So what we want to do is stop pushing them further away. We call it our push versus pull method, right? And start to draw them back to you in a very genuine and authentic, natural way. So that they will want to be with you because they like you and they want to spend time with you. They want to talk with you. They want to develop a deeper level of connection with you. So in our pull versus push method, the things that you want to start doing is taking pressure off of the relationship, pressure off of them, pressure off of you. If they sense that you're doing this just as a manipulation to try to get them back, that will never work. And it's not what you want anyway. You want them to come back because they want you for who you really are, right? And so we want to create safety around communication and get communication open up more and more, because very often things are so tense right now. You're hurt, they're angry, they're defensive, you're angry, you're defensive. That only adds more fuel to the fire. So what we want to do is calm things down, reduce the tension, and create some safety in communication. After they hit the pause button and they're no longer pulling away from you more, now you want to flip that emotional switch that is deep inside of them. Now that they feel safe around you, they no longer feel the need to pull away from you more. As you take the pressure off, you increase some understanding towards them, some empathy. As you even validate them, that is going to go a long way into interrupting the pattern that you're in currently. When you interrupt that pattern, it's going to get their attention and have them consider the possibility of staying, consider the possibility of being happy with you, consider the possibility of ending this emotional affair and starting to develop some deeper level of connection with you. Once you flip that emotional switch, now they will be the one that's actually chasing after you and pursuing you. How good would that feel? Versus you're always the one chasing after them, trying to get them back, trying to win their heart over again, trying to get this connection going again, trying to turn your marriage around. How good would it feel to have your spouse chase after you? I'll give you a real life example of what this looks like. I'll change the client's name to Robert, but we'll say Robert and Cassandra. So Cassandra was having an emotional affair, and Robert kept begging her to come back and kept demanding that she go to therapy, saying, you need help, you need to work on yourself. And she wouldn't do any of that. Finally, Robert did what we suggested here in our PATH program, and he stopped pushing her to work on the relationship. He took the pressure off. And she told him, I'm going to move out. I'm going to go get my own apartment and I'm going to get my own space. And I just need to have a break here. And I need to get some distance. I need my own space to kind of figure things out. Instead of begging her to come back and saying, you can't go, you need to work on a marriage, you need to honor our vows, even though it might be true, he gave her that space. Now, this was what was correct in his instance, okay, his example. And so then she did. She got her own apartment and she moved out. And what happened is that after just a few weeks, Cassandra started missing Robert and started texting him out of the blue, started having really in-depth conversations with him, and then started to drop some hints that she wanted to get back together with him. In fact, if you guys want, I'll leave a screenshot below of his exact testimonial sharing his experience doing that. So look for that in the comments below. And if you would love for your spouse to start to want to talk to you and start to chase after you, just leave a comment and say chase, and I'll send you a free guide on how to get your spouse to chase after you. That's what we do here. We flip that emotional switch. So now your spouse, the one that's having the emotional affair, is now willing and wanting to take steps towards you. This is foundational. This is monumental. This is when the game really changes and the momentum of your entire relationship changes. Now that they show some willingness to want to work on the marriage, some desire to spend time with you, that they want to talk with you, now it's the appropriate time to discuss the emotional affair. Into step 3, which is going into the root issues. And a big part of this is where you take accountability for your own part and you invite your spouse to take accountability for their part. And now is when we can heal the root issues that led to them having this emotional affair. Now is when we can go into accountability and putting in those healthy boundaries that might be needed. Once we know what the problem really is, then we can create some real solutions. And that's when we then move into step 4, which is all about creating healthy boundaries to allow your relationship to repair and heal fully, so that these same painful cycles don't keep repeating themselves. If this emotional affair is a one-time instance, you don't want it to happen again. If they continue to kind of have these emotional affairs, you also want to make sure that you stop that cycle of them having these affairs, right? These emotional affairs. And so that is where we really go into what healthy boundaries need to be put in place here so that you can feel safe and secure. And that goes into them taking accountability and being open and honest about who it was, where it was, when it happened, why it happened, what was going on inside of them, what was going on inside of their relationship, what were some of the triggers there, what were some of the things causing this pattern to manifest. And then from there, we create those healthy boundaries so you feel safe, your partner feels safe, and your relationship can then heal. And these same painful cycles do not continue to repeat themselves. So again, my friends, if you would like to take the free quiz to know if your marriage can be saved or not, just leave a comment and say emotional affair in the comments below, and I'll send you both a free guide and the free quiz to see how you can turn your marriage around. This has worked for thousands of clients. In fact, like I said, over 60% of our clients right now are dealing with emotional affairs. And we know exactly how to help them with this proven process so that you can heal, so that you can feel that you are loved and accepted for who you really are, flaws and all. And so that you can create healthy and functional patterns that will serve you not only in this relationship, but in all the relationships that you will have. But marriage is sacred. So choose to empower yourself, choose to take some action and create a new reality for you and your spouse. And that choice will have a ripple effect for generations to come. Thank you for joining. Again, leave that comment, say emotional affair, and I will get it to you right away. Thanks for joining, and I can't wait to see how your marriage turns around and truly thrives.